Hello everyone. In today's class, we will read about one of the most important resource that we have, and that is land resources. Okay. Now I need not tell you why land as a resource is important, because you all are aware land is a very important resource because we cannot increase it further. Whatever land is naturally available to us, we can utilize only that much of land. All right. Land is also put to many other activities. For example, it is used for construction activities. It is used to practice agriculture and mining. And also land is the portion or is the resource on which we build our industries and other infrastructure activities as well. Right? Now, in India, there are variety of relief features. And all these relief features, they lie under land. All right. So let's have a look. This thing is also given in your book in the form of a table and is also very important from the examination point of view, as many a times they ask question that why mountain is important, why plateaus are important, what is the role of plains. So it is very important for you to understand all these things, right? So India has land under variety of relief features, and we categorize them into four types. Okay, so first one is known as mountains, then we have plateaus, the third one is plain, and the fourth one is islands. Right now in India we have 30% of total land area under mountains, and this is very important because mountains are house of many perennial flow of rivers. It is the house of rivers. It is also important from the ecological point of view, as they maintain the ecological balance on earth. Also, these are the areas where majority of the tourists, they love to go and visit. So it help us earn lots of foreign exchange. Right now the next category is plateau. So 27% of land area lies under plateau, right? And plateaus are also very important because we have rich reserve of minerals, fossil fuels, and forests which are found here. Now 43% of land is covered by plain areas, and you all are aware of these things. Plain area are preferred by majority of the people, as in India 72% of people even today are engaged in agricultural activities. And not only agricultural activities, plain areas are also good for construction of industry, right? So this table is important. It might be there in the examination because this is important, right? This is something which you all should know. Okay, now next topic is land use pattern in India. Now as you all know, land as a resource is very important, and people utilize the land available to them in different ways, right? And there are certain factors on the basis of which they decide how they are going to utilize that area. And we classify these factors into two types. The first one is known as physical factor. The second one is known as human factors. So let's see what all physical factors are there that help anyone decide how to utilize the land, how to use the land. Okay. So first one is topography. That means whether the land is a plain area or it is mountainous area or it is somewhat like a plateau area, right? Accordingly they decide how to use it. Next is climate. What kind of a climate is there? Okay, is it suitable to grow a certain type of crop? So that's how climate also decide the land use pattern. Next is soil type. Now when we look at human factors, we have population density, we have technological capability, and third is culture and tradition. So all these things, they affect how to use the pattern, how to use the land. Okay, and it gives us a land use pattern. For example, in this diagram you can see that there is a land area, and you can see that how this land is put into different use. Okay, so land are used for agriculture, they are also used for construction of roads, they are used for construction of industries, for the pastures. We have forest on the land, we also have barren land on the land. Okay, we have areas which are known as fallow land, and it is also used for construction of houses. So you all can see how a small piece of land is being used in different ways. So this is what we call a land use pattern, right? Now again, in your book there's a diagram which is very important from examination point of view. I have used a colored picture to simplify it so that it is easy for you to understand. You can see that this diagram shows the land use pattern in India over the years. So we have a data of 1960-61 and another data from the year 2014 to 15, right? Now this red color denotes forest area, then orange is denoting, like this is being used to denote the barren and unculturable wasteland, right? Now I'm just going to give you an example that what all kind of questions can be there in the exam. So just have a look. This red color, it denotes forest area, okay, forest cover in India. So in 1960-61, 18.11% of land area was under forest, right? Whereas in 2014-15, it was 23.3%. So you can see from this diagram that there has been an increase in the forest cover. So from 18.11% in 1960-61 to 23.3% in 2014 and 15, you can see that the land area under the category forest has increased. Now in the examination they ask you question like, what are the reasons behind an increase in the forest area from the year 1960-61 to 2014 and 15? Now let me tell you one thing, that these changes are not mentioned in your NCERT book. These changes are not written there. So here you have to apply your knowledge, okay? Whatever you have read about the geography or the land area, that knowledge you have to apply. So first thing, you need to see whether the change is a positive one or the change is a negative one. So you can see that this change is a positive one. If there's an increase in the forest area, that means it's a positive change. Now what all reasons could be there behind it? First reason, maybe because the government has started some policies, they have started some, let's say some project with the help of which they are spreading the awareness that how important forests are for us and how to conserve them. So definitely government initiatives, because of government initiatives and because of awareness among the masses, there's a positive change, and that change you all can see here is that there's an increase in the forest cover, right? So it's very, very important to first understand whether the change is a positive one or is it a negative one. All right, so I'm going to tell you about all of these things, different type of land, which are a different type of uses in which we have put our land here in India, and also what are the reasons behind an increase or a decrease in that. Okay, so stay tuned and let's go to the next slide. Okay, so the first type of land area that is there in your book is that it is net sown area. Now what do we mean by net sown area? So basically it is the physical extent of land on which crops are grown and harvested. Now what do we mean by that? So just see, suppose you are a farmer and you have 5 acres of land with you, and on each acre of land you are growing a different crop. Okay, so these are the 5 areas, 5 farms that you own. Each of them is of 1 acre, right? On one you are growing cauliflower, on other you are growing tea, in the third one you are growing sugarcane. Just imagine any of the crop, right? So the net sown area, that means the total area on which you have grown the crops, is known as the net sown area. So if I'll ask you how much is the net sown area, so you will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the net sown area is 5 acres, right? Now there's a disparity in net sown area all over India. Disparity means there are differences in the net sown area, and these differences are because of relief features, because of soil conditions, because of climatic conditions, and because of availability of irrigation facilities. So the areas where relief features are good, where the soil is fertile or the climatic condition is suitable for the growth of a certain kind of crop, okay, in those areas you will see that the net sown area is higher. That means large portion of land is under cultivation, right? whereas the area where the soil is not that fertile or where the climate is not that suitable for the growth of a particular kind of a crop, in that area the net sown area would be less, right? So please memorize the definition of net sown area, also understand the meaning of net sown area and what are the reasons behind the differences in net sown area all over India. So these are the things, 3 things that you have to memorize, right? Now the second category of land that we have is gross cropped area. Now what do we mean by gross cropped area? First thing, you need to understand how do we calculate gross cropped area. Okay, so we take area sown more than once in an agricultural year plus the net sown area. Now you already know the meaning of net sown area. That means the total land area on which you are growing the crops. Now what do we mean by net sown gross cropped area is that, suppose again I am going to take the same example. These are the 5 acres of land with you. Out of these 5 acre of land, 2 acre of land that you have is more fertile than the other 3 acre of land, right? For example, let's take this one and this one. So these 2 land areas, one this one and the other one this, right? These 2 are more fertile than these 3. Okay, so what you are going to do is that, because these areas are more fertile, so you will grow crops on these areas more than once in one agricultural year. तो एक ही साल में आप इस जमीन पे 2 बार खेती कर रहे हैं, right? So let's put it this way. Now if I'm going to ask you what is the gross cropped area, that means the total area on which you are practicing agriculture. So what you will write, you will first take net sown area. So how much was the net sown area? 5 acres. So you will write 5. And the area which is being used more than once in an agricultural year. So you are using this area and this area twice in one agricultural year. So you will write 2. 1, 2. So your gross cropped area will become 2 plus 5, that is 7 acre. Right? So that's how we calculate gross cropped area. So I hope now the difference between net sown area and gross cropped area is clear to you. And please remember it, because it might be there in the examination. Okay. Now, the third type of category is the land which is not available for cultivation. Now, why a land will not be available for cultivation? Okay, this is something I believe that you all must be aware of. That's because that area is barren or that area is a wasteland. Okay. Now, what do we mean by barren and wasteland? It means the area that cannot be brought under cultivation. If we are unable to cultivate an area, that area is known as barren land or wasteland. Okay. For example, areas where we have steep mountains, or the areas where you have all the rocky plateaus or rocky surface, right? Area which are desertic in nature, or area which are very swampy. These are the areas which cannot be put under cultivation, and hence we call them as barren land or wasteland, right? Now the second category of land under this is land put to non-agricultural uses. Obviously there are land which are used for construction of houses, or which are used for construction of industries, infrastructure, railway lines. Okay, so these are the lands which are used for non-agricultural activities, hence we cannot practice agriculture on these areas, right? Now there's an increase in this category of land. And why is it so? What is the reason behind it? The reason behind it is that there has been an expansion in infrastructure facilities, as the people are getting upgraded, as they have started using the modern technologies and modern equipments. Now there's an expansion in the infrastructure facilities available to us. There's an expansion of population growth. Okay, even in the rural areas and in the urban areas, number of people are increasing day by day, and in order to fulfill their need of housing and all, we need to construct all these things. Hence, even the areas which have been cultivable before, even on those areas now we have all these things made, right? And also there's a decrease in the amount or in the number of barren and wasteland. That's because there's a pressure to increase the land under cultivation. Obviously, on one hand side, number of people, their number is continuously increasing. On another hand side, we also talk about sustainable development and all that. So there's been a constant pressure on the government and on the people that they should start taking these areas under use, like the areas which are barren and waste, even they should come under use. So with the help of technology, with the help of scientific methods, we are trying to reclaim these areas. Okay, these areas, swampy areas, desertic areas, we are trying to reclaim them and put them under use, so that we don't have to make houses and infrastructure on the cultivable areas. So please remember which category is there an increase in and in which category there's a decrease, and also try to understand the reasons behind them, so it will simplify your work. Next type of land is called uncultivated land. This is the other kind of uncultivated land, and let's see what are the things, what are the reasons behind these areas. Now, one is known as permanent pasture and grazing land. Obviously, there are land which are categorized as permanent pasture areas. So these are the areas which will be used only and only by the animals, so that they can graze on these land. So obviously, these are the areas which are again uncultivated because of these reasons. And there's a slight decrease in this category of land. That's because now not many of the people are there who actually own livestock, which need to go to the pasture area or to the grazing land. So that's why. Then second type is area under miscellaneous tree, crops and groves. Yes, there are areas which are owned by the private individuals. And let me just remind you one thing here, that these are the areas which are not included in the net zone area. Okay, these are the areas where we do practice agriculture, but this agriculture is being practiced by the private people or private group of people. And on these kind of lands we have got orchards, we have fruit trees, okay, and these things are there. So these are the land which are put into use for miscellaneous things, right? Then there is one more area which is known as cultivable wasteland. So any land which is left fallow or uncultivated for more than 5 years is included in this category. Okay, and there's a decrease in this category because now again the same thing, there's a constant pressure on the government to reclaim the areas which are waste. Okay, so these are the areas which are lying as wasteland, but actually we can cultivate them, right? So these are the three types under the category other uncultivated land. Now another type of category is fallow land. So fallow land means area which is left fallow, जिसे हमने छोड़ दिया है, यहाँ पे हम खेती नहीं कर रहे हैं, right? So there are two types of them. One is known as current fallow land, which is left uncultivated for a period of 1 to 2 years or even less than that. And then we have other than current fallow land, that means the area which has been left uncultivated for a period of 1 to 5 agricultural years. Now there's been an increase in both this kind of land. Why? Because farmers are also very aware these days, and they know that it's good for them if they are going to leave this area fallow for 1 year or 2 years or for a period of 5 years, so that they can retain their nutrition, so that the soil can retain its fertility naturally. So that's why in order to help the soil retain its nutrients and moisture, they leave it fallow for a period of 5 years, right? Then the last category is forest cover land. As the name suggests, this is the land area on which we have got forest cover, right? So in India as of now, forest cover is 23.3%, and as I told you that there's an increase, right? But we are still 10 notches below the desired mark, because government says that at least 33% of land area should be covered with forest. Though in India there's an increase, as of now it is 23.3%, from 18% in 1960-61 to 23.3% in 2015 and 16. Yes, there's an increase, but even today we are 10 notches below the desired mark, right? So these things are there. And with this we have completed reading about the land resources, land use pattern, and land utilization. Okay, these are the three main important topics of this chapter. I'm sure there would be a question from this one. Okay, it's very important, so please read it properly. Don't leave this portion. You cannot afford to leave this portion. It is very important. All right, thank you so much.